What's up, guys? I'm back for another Star Wars Bandai model kit video. This one I've been waiting to do for a couple weeks. I've had this kit and I've had it built and everything, but just something about it, I wasn't really compelled to make the video, and I can't really say why. I guess I was just waiting for adequate lighting, maybe. But yeah, here it is. I'm finally going to bring it out today and show you guys what I think of this kit. This is the Resistance X-Wing from the sequel trilogy from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And there's a little bit of a glare there, but that's not too bad. At least we get pretty decent lighting. So, a little bit about this kit. Again, I got this at Hobbytown, USA, the same place I got the other Bandai Star Wars model kits from. And I highly, highly recommend, if you're looking for these kits, try to find them there, because that is the cheapest place around by far. There's a lot of, like, other little nerd places like the Think Geek store and places in the mall and things like that that have them, and they're way too expensive there. So make sure you know what you're paying for. This guy, if you're shopping smart, will only set you back about 25 bucks. So let's go ahead and take a look at the kit. So here is the X-Wing itself, and as you can see, everything is, the color shows up pretty nicely in the video, I hope. As well as the detail on the kit. But that being said, the Resistance X-Wing does not look all that great unpainted or without weathering or decals, so I may go back and add the sticker sheets. Like the other Bandai model kits, these come with a sticker sheet and a water decal sheet, so you can apply whichever one you prefer. So let's talk a little bit about the X-Wing from the film standpoint and from a lore standpoint. So this is a T70 X-Wing, as instead of the T65 X-Wing that we saw in the original trilogy. So there's a little paragraph in the instruction booklet that you can actually read in English. It's not in Japanese, and it says Incom developed the T70 X-Wing to be faster than the T65, and you can definitely see that because it's very narrow, very sleek, and definitely built with speed in mind. Other than that, there's not too much to improve on, because the T65 was very effective, as you guys know. So these were, and now that The Last Jedi is out and we see, you know, the state of the galaxy a little bit better, we know that the Resistance is actually an incredibly small organization of fighters. So these ships were donated on behalf of some of the influential senators in the new Galactic Republic, and as we revealed in the movie, we now know that some of the Resistance supplies and weapons were purchased via the black market by smugglers and things like that. So that is, I would say that's unfortunate, but I mean, you do what you got to do, right? Especially if you're such a small organization like that. The Resistance is not nearly as big as the Rebel Alliance was, and now by the end of The Last Jedi, there's not much of the Resistance left, including all of their fighters. They lost every fighter they had, including Poe's Black One X-Wing, which is incredibly broken, as I've said in the past. So again, this is what the standard Resistance X-Wing looks like. This is the X-Wing that Poe had at the beginning of The Force Awakens before he got his Black One X-Wing, the modified one. There's two other X-Wing, well actually, there's like 4 other X-Wing kits from the Bandai lineup. There's the Red Squadron X-Wing from the original trilogy. There is a X-Wing that includes a 1/44th scale like this, and an even smaller one to go with it, so it's like a 2-in-1 to make a little mini squadron of X-Wings flying together. So there's the one plus the smaller one. That's one kit. And then you have Poe's Black One X-Wing, and then you have Poe's Black One X-Wing from The Last Jedi that has the assistance booster on the back, which is really cool. But other than that, it's not any different than the standard one. So in terms of the design, it definitely looks really cool. I like how the wings, the S-foils, and I just lost the canopy there. I'll get to that later. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. They sort of, instead of just being 2 flaps that just open and close, they actually kind of interlock with each other like that. You can see that it's almost like the wing has split into two separate sections there. And I really like the look of that. I thought, you know, in terms of design sensibility, that's pretty cool. But in terms of gripes I have with this actual model kit, my only gripes are, like I said, the actual canopy there does not stay attached very well. There's very little aside from this peg on the very front there that's actually keeping it in there. Also, like I said, it would look a lot better with some paint applications, and maybe I'll do that. It would look a lot better with some weathering, with some metallic finish, because this kind of drab off-white is not terribly appealing. The BB unit, or it's probably BB-8 that's in there, is totally unpainted. The pilot is totally unpainted. And I feel like this does a greater disservice to this model than the First Order TIE Fighter that I reviewed before. Also, if I can have another gripe, the S-foils don't really lock together all that well. You kind of have to push on them to get them to interlock like that. They don't really stay like that very well. But I prefer to have it displayed with them open anyway. But I think that's cool that they actually do open and close. And the way that that's designed from a build standpoint is actually pretty cool. You can also see, maybe I'll try to do a funky angle here so you can see that. The photon torpedo launchers on the side actually have like a gun head in there for the projectile to launch from, which is pretty cool. And then if we come around to the back, you can see inside the engines there's a little bit of translucent plastic. Let's see. Yeah, overall, just designed very well. These panels right here are where the landing gear would go if we built the model to have the landing gear, which you can do that. Just like the A-Wing I reviewed, and this panel up here would also come out, and you can attach the front landing gear right there. Another gripe that I have, and the canopy keeps coming off, is that the laser blasts right here, it only comes with 2 of them instead of 4, so I put them on opposite sides to kind of give it a really cool look there. They're incredibly fragile. This one is bent pretty bad, and I'm pretty upset about that. I really wish I could have prevented that from happening, and it was definitely my own negligence when I built the kit, but I would definitely recommend when you're building the kit to use extreme caution when handling those, because I did not have this problem with any of the other Bandai kits that I've built so far. Alright, so here is the Resistance X-Wing on its stand. The stand, just like the other Bandai Star Wars model kits, it's almost like a ratcheting joint up here where you can articulate the base, so you can have the ship at an angle, which I think looks really cool. The original trilogy ships I have right now, the TIE Interceptor and the A-Wing, are centered, and then the sequel ships, the First Order TIE Fighter and the X-Wing, are at an angle, like they're banking. And I have them in my glass display case, if you guys have seen that. If you guys haven't seen the glass display case, go check it out on the Facebook page. So quickly we'll do a little size comparison. You guys can kind of see how these things can look so cool side by side. Here's with the First Order TIE Fighter. And so you can have a really cool shot with them in pursuit like that. And the Resistance X-Wing also has the desert-style terrain for the base, similar to the First Order TIE Fighter, to emulate the terrain of Jakku and things like that. So that does look really cool. I don't think I have any other size comparisons, really. Maybe I do. Okay, so here it is next to Poe's Black 1 X-Wing from the Snap-Tight model series. And as you can see, that the Snap-Tight model is much larger, but not extremely so. I do think that they don't really display well next to each other. I think I'd much rather have the Bandai version of this one. And I've talked about this guy a little bit in one of the previous videos, but these are incredibly simple to build. They're a little bit more kid-friendly, I feel like. But they're okay. As far as, the Last Jedi line and things like that goes, there's more craft available now in this version than in the Bandai version. But the Bandai version is always going to be superior from a model builder standpoint. You also don't get the decal sheets or the laser blast accessories or the stand, but this one actually makes sound effects. If I can get it to work. Gotta push in on BB-8 there. Which is pretty cool. He also has the landing gear as well. So yeah, that's kind of a size comparison. Again, I don't recommend these guys as much as I recommend the Bandai ones, but that's just because, I'm a hardcore model kit fan and a, Gundam fan and things like that. So that should be about it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. And like I said, if you're interested in finding any of the Bandai Star Wars model kits, definitely check out Hobbytown, because that is definitely where you're going to find them at the best price.